hit that like button, ayy. Subscribe and hit that notification bell, ayy. Sit down and relax, listen up. It's that Carl's Evening Coffee Show.
Hey, welcome back. Carl here today with another evening coffee. Welcome to the channel. This is a discussion where I tell a story from my life and maybe have a biblical lesson to it, but just me telling some stories, some interesting stuff I think is interesting. Hey, but it's just me making these videos. I don't get paid to do it. I'm not monetized yet. So if you can do me a favor, give me a like and a subscribe. That'd be awesome. Alright, so today's story is going to be a demon story. A demon story. Now today, it's going to be a little crazy. I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be a little crazy story. But I think you're going to enjoy it. And I told this story multiple times to different people. And, it's a crazy story regarding a demon. Or what I think is a demon. So, stay tuned. Alright. So, background of the story. So when I was growing up, my grandfather and my grandmother would drag me to church. I hated it. I would cut up in church. I believe I even took money out of the offering plate one time in church. I mean, I would do some horrible things when it regard to church. I would laugh at it, pick on my grandmother, pick on her singing, make fun of her. That's the way I was when it came to church when I was a kid. When I got to be 17 years old, all of a sudden my life had taken a turn for even worse. I always wanted to be in the military, and 3 months before I turned 18 years old, I realized being a high school dropout and being someone who had completely messed up their life to that point, that the chances of being in the military were, if not entirely gone, very quickly slipping away. I realized at that moment that I had, wrecked my life as a junkie. I was a junkie. I was into all kinds of drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. And I realized that there was no way, unless I had started at that point and really started working on it, that I was ever going to be able to join the military. I'm not sure if it's that turned me or if it was some other stuff. I don't know. But all of a sudden, I just started getting really angry at God. And I began flicking the bird at the heavens and screaming at God. I began, cursing God, saying GD to God, saying I hated God, stuff like that. And the worldly friends that I had there in Georgia, some of them are not even with us anymore. They passed away since. They told me even then they weren't godly people. They said, listen, I'm not a Christian, but I would never talk about heaven like that. You're really brazen to do that. And I just kept going and going, acting like a demon-possessed person. And so I ran into some dangers there in Georgia, and me and my mother and my sisters moved to Florida. My grandfather had bought a duplex in Florida, and he invited us to come stay on the other side of the duplex. And so to have a fresh new life, start over fresh and clean. No one knew us, no one knew about drugs or alcohol or anything like that. Start over fresh and clean. We decided to move to Florida. So we packed everything up within like 2 weeks. Didn't even throw away trash. Just threw everything in boxes, piled into the trailers, came to Florida. Now I had a 9th grade education. I had worked a couple years in insulation. I was cursing at God now. I had no hope of the future whatsoever. I had nothing looking out for me in life. Nothing. So I came to Florida. And, and at that time, I guess you could see the Lord was drawing me to Him. And so I was cursing Him out and stuff like that. But He was actually drawing me to Him. That's the reason why I became interested in enough to even curse Him out. And I asked my grandfather for a Bible. And he gave me my grandmother's Bible. And the Bible is no longer even useful anymore. It's so torn up because I eventually read it so much that it just fell apart. And I didn't know at the time you could get Bibles fixed, and it's in a landfill somewhere. But anyway, moved to Florida, and my grandmother used to have the preacher of this church right around the corner and his prayer team come and pray for me and try to help me. And pray for my grandmother who was sick with cancer, and all the different things she dealt with. She ended up dying of a brain tumor. But, they would pray for me, and they had even said, listen, I think that man is plagued by seducing spirits, just evil spirits. And I would curse at them. I didn't want nothing to do with them. I would tell them to leave the property. I didn't want nothing to do with them. And so eventually, long story short on this, I ended up accepting the Lord. The Lord broke me all the way down. I ended up accepting Him. I started going to that same church where I hated those people that came, and I would curse at them. Started going to that church, and I remember the preacher asked me, he said, "Would you like to be baptized?" I didn't know the full reason for baptism and stuff like that, but I knew I should do it. So I was like, yeah, I'll be baptized. So I got baptized, and but this whole time, leading up to this time I got baptized, I had this terrible dread in my heart. I felt severe dread and doom and gloom. It was constant. It was like I was headed to hell. It's just doom and gloom, weighty feeling. Like I felt like I was in big, big trouble. And that's what I felt. I thought there was no hope. And even after I was baptized, I still felt this way, for a week or so. I remember laying in a brown lazy boy in my mother's living room in the duplex. And I didn't pray, really, because I was a brand new Christian. And I had stopped flicking off heaven and stuff like that. I had stopped that stuff. The Lord had finally wrestled me like the paraplegic man from Forrest Gump. I had made my peace with God. But I still felt this feeling of there was no hope, doom and gloom. And I was laying on the lazy boy. And I just prayed to the Lord. I said, Lord, why do I still feel this way if I'm being baptized, if I was already baptized? I don't think Christians are supposed to feel this way. I should be saved. And I don't know what happened. I can't explain what happened. It was just some sci-fi stuff. And, maybe I took cough syrup that day because I was sick. I don't know. All I can tell you is this. Like some type of spirit that looked like a bubble of water in space when they float around. That came out of me, and it flew out the front door. And I'm not kidding you. From that exact moment, I did not deal with that feeling anymore for over 10 years. And then later on in life, I dealt with it again, which I dealt with that. I don't feel that feeling anymore. But the point is, it was like 10 years. I did not feel that feeling. That feeling was gone. I felt confident that I was saved. Now you say I was demon possessed, maybe. Some people don't even believe in demon possession anymore. Some people at Church of Christ believe that there's no more possession in the world today. And I'm not here to debate that. All I can say is this, that there was something affecting me, spiritual. And when I prayed that prayer, it left me. So, was I demon possessed? I don't know. I just know that is my demon story. Thank you. Have a great day, and God bless.